the same thing, but I also feel like stand up for what you believe in at the end of the day. Like, I make videos standing up for what I believe in, but I'm not arguing with people. You know, I'm not debating other people. I'm literally just sharing what I believe, why I believe it, and if someone doesn't agree or disagrees, that's fine. But something that I've said multiple times, I've never heard a good pro-choice argument, and it's just like, you'll never be able to convince me abortion isn't evil. You'll never be able to convince me abortion isn't murder. You'll never be able to convince me it's justified, because every time I follow the logic of pro-choice arguments, it's like a horrible stance to make. It's like, oh, kids in foster care's lives don't matter. Now, that's not what they think they're saying, right? When someone says, oh, we need abortion because there's enough kids in foster care, right? They don't think they're arguing that foster kids' lives don't matter, but that's exactly what they're arguing. If you believe it's okay to abort a child because they could potentially end up in foster care, and you believe the foster care system is horrible and horrendous, and we have enough kids in it. And I always say this, like, abortion does not do anything to help kids already in foster care either. But what you're also saying, without saying it, is that someone being in foster care means they are less valuable. It's just like, because people don't realize, like, you're arguing to end a life in the womb based off of future circumstances that child could potentially face. And you're saying the circumstances of being in foster care are too harsh of circumstances, so I can kill someone, I can just end that person's life instead, and that is a better outcome than that child having life and being in foster care. That is the logical conclusion of that argument. And like any other argument that people make to devalue someone else's life, well, they're not wanted, therefore they don't matter. It's just like, they're horrendous arguments people make to try to justify honestly, you're trying to justify killing someone, ending someone else's life over their circumstances. And it's like, the way people disconnect how you saying it's okay to kill someone for those circumstances, and you don't recognize how there's very real people alive in those circumstances, that you're devaluing when you say that. Because I would never say someone in foster care doesn't deserve to be alive or is better off dead. And the people arguing that is what they're saying without actually saying that. Because if you think it's justifiable to end someone's life because they could end up in foster care, you're saying a future in foster care is not worthy of having a person who ends up in foster care isn't worthy of having life. Like, that's what you're arguing for, because everyone knows abortion is arguing to end someone's life. Like, I feel like when people are telling, if someone was to say you should have been aborted, they're basically saying you should have been dead. You should have never been born. You would have been better off not being alive, essentially. Like, if I was going around telling people you should have been aborted, you should have been aborted, I'm not saying something nice to that person. And everyone understands that. Your mom should have aborted you is someone wishing harm be done to you. But also someone basically saying, I don't like the person you are, so I'd rather you should have just never been allowed to be born, basically. It's such a nasty thing to say to someone. And it's kind of an evil thing to say to someone. Like, there's no amount. You can't convince me abortion isn't evil. You just cannot. And the way it gets used is so crazy. And when I see people like bragging about it, like I was on a video, and I can't remember, but this girl made like this really disgusting comment about how she was like, oh, I sent my baby back to its maker. Like, it's like, so you understand you're killing it, you're just pretending not to, that's not what you did. But if you can make a joke like, oh, I sent my baby back to its maker, or I returned it to the sender, like, when you get when someone got an abortion and they're making a joke like that, to me, I feel like you're fully aware of what people are fully aware of it. Some people are fully aware of it and they just don't care. But anyways, I just feel like it's such an evil thing. It creates so much harm, unnecessary abuse. And personally, I always make this argument, abortion is abuse. Like, if you're gonna argue like kids in foster care shouldn't be abused, it's like y'all have more of a problem with foster kids existing than the abusive people who are abusing them. It's like the problem is abusive people, not the foster kids existing. And I just don't understand the logic of why you support ending the life of the victim of abuse instead of pointing out that people need to stop abusing people. Okay, so basically, I just think this is like the comment that someone made this comment saying, oh, well, a child who's not wanted is more likely to be abused, so that's why it's better that they're aborted. And I said, okay, you're saying, you know, abusive people get to kill their children because they plan to abuse them in the future? It's like you're literally just creating more abuse for those kids, because there's nothing more abusive than ending someone's life. And I say that statement every single time, and it's like, does that not make sense to people? The most abusive thing you can do is end someone's life. And why is it that the solution to abusive parents is killing the baby instead of, let's put these children in homes where they wanted? Like, there's so many people who want to adopt those babies, and it's always like, again, it's like every single argument is just so stupid to me. It's so stupid and unjustifiable, because at the end of the point, someone not wanting to be pregnant had a lot of choices before getting pregnant they could have made to prevent becoming pregnant, like choosing not to have sex, getting their tubes tied, you know, making I don't want to be pregnant so I get to kill my child is the solution. To me, it's just also, it doesn't make sense, because there's no personal accountability. If you made a choice that gave you the option where pregnancy was the consequence of that choice, if you're choosing to have sex knowing there's a risk of getting pregnant and you don't want to be pregnant, that's your own fault. Why is ending the child's life the solution to people wanting to sleep around and not wanting the consequence of the child, but they're making the choices that create the child to begin with? It's like, I just can't rationalize things like that, because I feel like it's like you're ending an innocent human being's life. An abortion is ending someone else's life. It's not rationalized or justified to end someone else's life over these circumstances people create around devaluing that life to begin with. It's just like other people believing they have the right to negate or deny humanity to another person's life over their potential circumstances, in my opinion, is still not a great thing. It says more about you that you think less of someone else because of their circumstances. Like, I don't think I'm better than someone in foster care. I'm not better than someone who's adopted. I'm not better than someone who's poor. I'm not better than someone. It's like all of these reasons people give to justify as basically saying their life doesn't matter anyways because of XYZ circumstances. It's just like, these things are not actually good things to argue. I don't know. I cannot stand those arguments.